My name is Padre Michel Remery. I'm from the Netherlands, a small country in Europe, and very happy to be here in Brazil at the channel of Paulus. I was an architect before and eventually found that something else was more important. And that's when I started to study in Rome, where I studied for a good number of years before becoming a priest. And then my first assignment was in the Netherlands, in a parish where I met a lot of young people with a lot of young questions. And that's the origin of our project Tuitando con Dios, and later also online como Santos. And then I was asked to work for the European Bishops' Conferences, and I moved to Switzerland. After that, I moved to Luxembourg for youth ministry, and now I am working full-time for DioQuest, which is the organization that we built around our different projects that are focused on the questions of young people in the search to help them find answers in their lives. And in doing so, we found that we are addressing people of all ages, because who does not have any questions about the faith? So the book Online with Saints came into existence because we got questions about what is the role of the saints in my life and how can I encounter them? So we created a book that goes together with an app. The app gives you a timeline of the saints, with the idea of bringing the saints into the world of today as people that can be very close to you at this very moment and accompany you in your life. They can be part of your journey, whether you're young or old, whether you're a great believer or whether you're searching. The saints can really help you. They can be great examples. They show in what way it is possible to live as a good Christian. But they also show that, in fact, it is possible to arrive in heaven. We have been created by God, each of us in a different way, and we have a task in this life. You too. And it's up to you to find your task and your way of living. And the saints, they can help you by their example, by showing that they made it to heaven, and well, among them are some very great criminals before that they became saints. So it is possible. It is possible to become a saint. It is possible to end up in heaven. It is possible to live as a good Christian right now. And the saints, they can also pray for you and accompany you. All that through this book, the app Online with Saints, where you always find a double page where a saint is telling you something about their lives, and then will help you on your journey to find an answer to a very concrete question linked to spiritual life. So there could be a question about anything, whether you're supposed to doubt, or questions about tattoos and piercings, or maybe questions about prayer and why is there no answer when you pray. So there's a lot of questions that the saints can help to answer. Every saint is linked to an answer. Of course, it doesn't mean that they only have to say something about that particular point, but they help to see that right now, right here, they can help you on your journey with God. So if you open the book, you find the double page with, first of all, an image of the saint or the blessed or the venerable. That depends on the degree of sainthood they have reached up to now. Always the hope, of course, that one day there will be saints and available for all of us to pray to. And then you find a question, a very concrete question about daily life. And then the text will help you through the life and the teaching of this particular saint to find an answer. Of course, these are people that were on a journey with God, so it is very possible to pray together with them. We give a short prayer, we give a quote from their lives, if they have written down something, or if we have that what they wrote still existing, and there's always a post giving a recap, a short answer to the particular question in relation to the saints. So in this book you find saints from all around the world. You find men and women, you find people that were consecrated to God at an early age, you find people that worked in one or another profession, because we wanted to have saints that are linked to each of us, and each of us is different. So when we were looking at the saints, there were a few that could not miss in this book. Saint Francis of Assisi just had to be there, because everybody knows him. And there were a few other saints. Saint Peter, for example, because he was so close to Jesus. Saint John Paul II, because he is part of the journey of many people who are living today. And there's a Mother Teresa who cared so much for poor people. But there's also saints that I myself did not really know. And when we were searching, we encountered a marvelous saint from North America, Kateri Tekakwitha. And she shows that in nature and in life, in the place where she lived, it is possible to find God. So all those saints from very different areas of the world, different time zones between the time of Jesus and almost today, and men, women in different vocations, shows that sainthood is for everyone, and all of us are called to live a saintly life in the company and together with the saints, because that's the aim, to show that the saints are accompanying us. Look, there are so many saints. It is possible to get to heaven. And if you read their stories, sometimes they are really behaving very badly, probably far worse than you will ever do. So also for you there is hope to go to heaven. And the next point is that looking at the saints, they can really help you. They can encourage you, they can pray for you, they can be your friends and your companions on your journey. And that's why the book comes together with the app, where you can scroll and find your friend. You can even take a selfie with a saint that you like and then post that on your social media. In that way, there's interaction with the saints, but also interaction with your friends. And what we would like as Christians is not to live our lives of faith just alone, but to live it together with other people. So you may say that the questions that we ask are very modern and some of the saints are not. But I don't think there is something like modern questions as such, because people have always been and will be there for a long time on this earth, I think. And every generation has similar questions. Of course, there were no computers before a number of decades, but thinking about how you use an instrument, how you use a tool, are questions that have been asked earlier on as well. So I think the same kind of questions are being asked, although it is possible also to find new ways of finding an answer. So thankfully, there are also new saints that have been working with computers. And Karl Acutis is a good example. He created websites in order to tell people about the love of God, visible especially in the Eucharist. But then, when we look at the question about piercings and tattoos, you may think that's only of today, but throughout the ages in different cultures, people have had tattoos and piercings. And the question whether it is good or not is not so much about doctrine, this is right or this is wrong. It's much about, is this right for you? And a great saint in discernment is Saint Ignatius of Loyola. He helps to discern between what is right and wrong for you on your path with God. So in that way, we link the saints to a question of today, and they can help us find an answer, even if they lived some generations ago. So first of all, I think that when we look at all this new technology that is developing, there's great possibilities. And yes, there are dangers, and we need to be aware of the dangers, there's pitfalls. We need to be careful to get to know where not to step. But if we do know that, it is reasonably safe to use these means in order to reach out to new groups, new public. I think that if technology is advancing today, and if there is more and more attention for these means of communication, then we as a church definitely need to be there and use these means of communication. And I think that's also part of the charism of the family of St. Paulus, because it's all about communicating the gospel using means of today. At the same time, we need to be aware that when you're communicating online, it's not like chatting privately to one person, but there's always other people listening in. So you have to be careful in what way you address them. On the other hand, online we need to behave as human beings, just as we would outside of the social media, because, well, we need to be present in a way that is Christian. And the first thing people hear and see is not our words, but our behavior. And if we don't live according to what we preach, then nobody will take our words serious. So I think the challenges of the online media are mainly in how we use them rather than in these means themselves, because most of them are neutral. You can use them for something good and for something bad. Of course, we need to be careful that we keep an eye on the individual, not just speaking to the great public, and that there is an interaction between us and the people listening. Jesus always wants real interaction. And then if we speak about speaking on television, that's clearly a one-directional means of communication. But now that the internet offers us the possibility to react, you get a two-directional relationship. And of course, as Christians, we know that in fact, our relations should be three-dimensional because we invite God in everything we do, also in the relation with other people. So the saints, they want to be on a journey together with you, and they can properly be your friends, your companions, as you journey in life. Sometimes things are difficult, but they can help you to encourage. Sometimes you don't really know how to continue your journey. Well, they can give you an idea. So they can really accompany you. The saints, they're on a way together with you. A journey with God, a journey towards God in our case. And well, this book, if it may help you, then I'm very grateful because it is the message of people that went before us that have shown how it is possible to become a saint, how it is possible to live a life of God, and how it is possible to arrive at our final destination that God desires for every human being, which is the joy of heaven. So I hope that one day we will see each other there. If you want to know more about the saints, you can find this book in the Paulus bookstores throughout Brazil and in many other bookstores. And you can also have a look at the website of Paulus. I wish you God's blessing as you journey through life in the company of the saints.